Lighthouses have long been symbols of safety and guidance for sailors, but some of these towering structures hide more than just beams of light. Across the United States, there are lighthouses that are haunted by tragic pasts and restless spirits. Join me as we uncover the top 10 haunted lighthouses in America, where the paranormal meets the sea in chilling ways. First Street Augustine Lighthouse, Florida. Perched on the windswept coast of Florida, the St. Augustine Lighthouse stands as a towering sentinel of light. But it is what lurks within its shadowy walls that chills the spine. They say this lighthouse is cursed, haunted by the tragic spirits of two young sisters who met their untimely end here in the late 1800s. The girls, playing near a construction cart, plunged to their deaths when the cart careened into the sea. Since then, countless visitors have reported hearing the ghostly laughter of children echoing in the salty night air. But it's not just laughter. Footsteps, heavy and deliberate, can be heard climbing the spiraling stairs when no one is there. Doors slam shut on their own, and a dark figure clad in 19th century clothing has been seen gazing out from the top of the lighthouse. The identity of this mysterious woman remains a riddle, though some believe she's tied to the tragic past of the site. Paranormal investigators have captured eerie whispers, disembodied shadows, and unexplainable orbs of light that dance in the tower. For those brave enough to walk its halls, the St. Augustine Lighthouse is a doorway to the past, one that refuses to rest quietly. Will you dare to step inside knowing the spirits might be watching, waiting for you? Second, Point Lookout Lighthouse, Maryland. At the southernmost tip of Maryland lies the eerie Point Lookout Lighthouse, a beacon surrounded by tragedy and drenched in sorrow. During the Civil War, this site was home to a sprawling hospital and a prisoner of war camp, where countless soldiers drew their final breaths. Today, the echoes of their anguish linger like a shadow over the lighthouse, making it one of the most haunted locations in America. Visitors have reported ghostly voices crying out in pain, doors creaking open by unseen hands, and cold spots that seem to follow them through the building. Some claim to hear faint whispers in the still of the night, as if the spirits are trying to tell their stories. The most unnerving sightings include the ghost of a woman in a long, tattered dress, silently wandering the grounds, and the faint, ghostly outline of soldiers patrolling the area, as though trapped in a loop of time. Paranormal investigators have captured disembodied voices on recordings, footsteps in empty corridors, and even shadowy figures that vanish the moment you turn your head. Point Lookout Lighthouse is a place where history and the supernatural collide, a portal to a time of unimaginable suffering. Do you dare walk these haunted grounds, knowing that not all who entered ever truly left? Third, Pensacola Lighthouse, Florida. Rising above the Gulf of Mexico, the Pensacola Lighthouse stands as a picturesque monument during the day. But when darkness falls, it transforms into a chilling vortex of the unexplained. Legend has it that this lighthouse is haunted by the restless spirit of a woman who met her violent end here, murdered by the very man she trusted most, her husband. Those who visit report an oppressive atmosphere, as if the air itself carries the weight of untold sorrow. Footsteps echo through the spiral staircase when no one is near, and the sound of muffled voices whispers from the shadows. Some have seen fleeting glimpses of a ghostly woman in white, her face a blur of anguish, her form disappearing just as quickly as it appears. Perhaps the most disturbing encounters come from visitors who feel an invisible hand brushing against their backs or tugging at their clothes. Paranormal investigators have documented strange occurrences, photos that reveal shadowy figures, unexplainable cold drafts, and eerie EVPs of a woman's voice crying for help. The Pensacola Lighthouse may light the way for sailors, but for the spirits that dwell within its walls, it's a prison of eternal torment. Step inside, if you dare, and you might leave with more than just a story to tell. Fourth, Seguin Island Lighthouse, Maine. High atop a lonely island off the coast of Maine, the Seige Island Lighthouse stands as a beacon for sailors and a tomb of tragedy for the haunted souls trapped within. The story begins with a lighthouse keeper and his young wife, isolated on the desolate island. To ease her loneliness, he brought her a piano, but her incessant playing of the same tune drove him into madness. One stormy night, consumed by rage, he destroyed the piano and murdered her, before taking his own life. Since then, visitors and keepers alike have experienced spine-chilling phenomena. On quiet nights, the faint, haunting melody of a piano drifts through the salty air, despite no instrument being on the island. Doors slam violently without warning, and phantom footsteps echo through the keeper's quarters. Some have seen a shadowy figure standing silently at the windows, watching the sea with empty eyes. Paranormal teams have recorded strange whispers and unexplained lights flickering in the lighthouse tower. Those who venture to Seige Island describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the island itself rejects their presence. The spirits here are bound by tragedy, their cries lost in the winds that howl across the cliffs. Will you dare to visit and hear the cursed melody for yourself? Fifth, Haunted Head Lighthouse, Oregon. Nestled on a rugged cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean, the Haunted Head Lighthouse is as beautiful as it is chilling. Shrouded in mist and mystery, this lighthouse is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman known only as the Gray Lady. Her story is a tragic enigma, but legend has it she may be a grieving mother searching for her lost child, or perhaps a former keeper's wife who met a tragic end here. Visitors often feel a cold, unexplainable presence near the keeper's house, where the Gray Lady is most active. Some have reported hearing soft weeping in the dead of night, or feeling invisible hands brush against their shoulders. The lighthouse itself seems alive, with lights flickering on and off and objects moving on their own. Paranormal investigators have captured eerie EVPs of a woman's voice, whispering in tones of sorrow. Perhaps the most unnerving experiences come from those who've glimpsed her spectral form, a shadowy figure in gray, standing silently by the windows, watching the waves crash below. She never speaks, but her presence is palpable, as though she is trapped between this world and the next. Haunted Head Lighthouse may guide sailors safely to shore, but for those who visit, it offers no such comfort. Will you risk facing the Gray Lady's mournful gaze? 6 Old Presg Lighthouse, Michigan. Standing solemnly on the shores of Lake Huron, the Old Presg Lighthouse is a picture of tranquility by day, but by night, it becomes a realm of restless spirits. The most famous legend tied to this lighthouse is that of George Paris, a former caretaker who loved the lighthouse so much he vowed never to leave, even in death. Though the lighthouse's light was decommissioned long ago, locals and visitors alike still see it glowing mysteriously in the dark, a beacon that defies all logic. Inside, the ghostly activity grows even stranger. Visitors often hear heavy footsteps echoing up the tower's spiral staircase, only to find it empty. Doors creak open on their own, and the unmistakable scent of pipe smoke lingers in the air, even though no one has smoked there in years. Some have claimed to see a shadowy figure standing at the top of the tower, watching silently as if guarding his beloved lighthouse. Paranormal investigators have tried to debunk the mysterious glowing light, but have failed to find any rational explanation. Those who enter Old Presg Isle leave with the unsettling sense that they are never truly alone. Could it be George keeping his promise to stay forever? Or is something far darker at play? Will you climb the tower to find out? Or will you turn back before it's too late? 7th, Battery Point Lighthouse, California. On a rocky islet only reachable at low tide stands the Battery Point Lighthouse, its weathered walls holding secrets of the past. Beneath its charming exterior lies a haunting tale of ghostly whispers, shadowy figures, and a chilling presence that defies explanation. The lighthouse has been home to countless keepers over the years, but some seem to have never left. Visitors often report the feeling of being watched, even when no one else is around. In the keepers' quarters, objects mysteriously move on their own, and faint footsteps echo through the halls late at night. Most unsettling of all are the whispered voices, soft, unintelligible murmurs that seem to come from nowhere, filling the air with a sense of unease. One story tells of a woman's apparition, her presence marked by the faint smell of lavender. She is said to help those in need, gently guiding lost visitors or comforting distressed children. But her kindness doesn't make her any less eerie. Paranormal investigators have documented inexplicable cold spots, flickering lights, and recordings of phantom voices. Battery Point Lighthouse stands as a beacon of safety for sailors, yet within its walls, the line between the living and the dead is perilously thin. Do you dare cross the treacherous path at low tide to uncover its secrets, or risk being trapped with its restless spirits forever? New London Ledge Lighthouse, Connecticut. Perched on the turbulent waters of Long Island Sound, the New London Ledge Lighthouse is a lonely sentinel, shrouded in tragedy and whispered secrets. The legend of this lighthouse revolves around Freddie, a former keeper said to have taken his own life after his wife abandoned him. Yet, even in death, Freddie refuses to leave his post. Those who work or visit here recount chilling encounters that defy explanation. Doors creak open and slam shut with violent force as though moved by unseen hands. Footsteps echo through empty hallways, and disembodied voices murmur just out of earshot, sending shivers down the spine. Lights flicker unpredictably, and tools or objects are often found moved or misplaced, as though Freddie himself is toying with the living. On the rare occasion Freddie decides to show himself, witnesses describe a shadowy figure standing at the windows, gazing out over the restless waves. Paranormal investigators have captured unexplainable EVPs of low, mournful whispers, and equipment malfunctions are commonplace, as though the lighthouse itself rejects their presence. For sailors, New London Ledge Lighthouse is a guiding light, but for those who dare to linger inside, it's a chilling reminder that some spirits remain tethered to their earthly torment. Will you tempt Freddie's restless spirit, or flee before he makes his presence known? Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, Oregon. Rising from the unforgiving waves of the Pacific Ocean, Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, known grimly as Terrible Tilly, is a place of isolation and despair. Built on a craggy, storm-battered rock, it was a nightmare for the keepers who lived there, and its haunted reputation lingers to this day. The story begins with tragedy. Before its construction, a surveyor was swept away by the violent sea, his body never recovered. Over the years, the lighthouse has seen countless deaths, from shipwrecked sailors to keepers driven mad by the relentless solitude. After it was decommissioned, it became a columbarium, housing the ashes of the dead, a fitting resting place for a place so steeped in sorrow. Visitors report hearing disembodied screams carried on the wind, the anguished cries of sailors lost to the ocean's depths. At night, eerie lights are said to flicker within the tower, long after the beacon was extinguished. Some claim to see shadowy figures pacing the rock, their forms dissolving into mist when approached. Even the bravest who venture near Tillamook Rock describe a heavy, oppressive feeling, as if the sea itself mourns the lives it has claimed. Terrible Tilly is a lighthouse that no longer guides. It warns. Will you heed its grim message or risk being pulled into its haunted legacy? Taibe Island Lighthouse, Georgia. Nestled on the sandy shores of Taibe Island, Georgia, the Taibe Island Lighthouse is a historic landmark, but it's also a place steeped in mystery and death. For over 270 years, this lighthouse has witnessed countless shipwrecks, battles, and disappearances, and some believe the souls of the lost still haunt its grounds. One of the most chilling tales comes from a tragic incident in the 1800s, when a keeper, desperate and despairing, took his own life. It is said his ghost now roams the tower, his presence felt as a cold, suffocating chill. Visitors often report strange phenomena, footsteps echoing through the tower's narrow halls, whispers that vanish when you turn around, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. At night, the light sometimes flickers erratically, and shadowy figures can be seen from the shore, standing at the top of the lighthouse peering out into the blackness. Some say the lighthouse keeper's spirit lingers, still keeping watch over those who wander too close. Paranormal investigators have caught eerie EVPs of disembodied voices, and ghost hunters often find themselves inexplicably drawn to the tower, as if compelled by an unseen force. Taibe Island Lighthouse is more than just a beacon for ships. It's a place where the living and the dead collide, and the ghosts of the past are never far behind. Will you dare to explore its haunted halls, or will you flee before the spirits of Taibe make their presence known? From ghostly whispers to eerie figures, these haunted lighthouses offer more than just a stunning view. They're windows to a past filled with sorrow and tragedy. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, these sites are a testament to the unshakable grip that the past can have on the present. Which lighthouse gave you the chills? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling stories.